Today is April the 9th of 2021, and we're here today with Dan Henke. He's running for the AC Board of Regents. Dan, welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me in.
Let's start off by telling the voters who you are, where you grew up, a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into why you're running for the board.
Okay. Sure. My name's Daniel Henke, 56 years old. I've lived in Amarillo since 1974. I'm married to my wife, Lori, who's the director of pharmacy at Northwest Texas Hospital for 33 years. Been together with her for 40. We started dating in high school. We have two adult sons, Brandon and Britt. So I'm a mechanical engineer. I have a bachelor's of science in mechanical engineering. I have a master's in business administration. I currently work for Wanzak Construction out of Fargo, North Dakota, overseeing all the wind turbine projects. We're building for a American arm of a French company called Henke. Prior to that, I was a senior vice president for Zachary out of San Antonio, but I ran their engineering business, their fossil engineering business for many years, and then ran their power maintenance division. But no, I've been here since I was 10 years old. Been serving on the Board of Regents for the last 6.5 years. I filled an unexpired position when John Hicks left Amarillo in 14, and then I ran for election in 15 and was elected to a 6-year term, and so I've been serving on the Board of Regents. But anyway, that's a little background about me.
Well, that's interesting. So you're in the wind turbine business then.
I am now. So I've been in the power industry my whole career. I've designed and built coal plants, designed and built simple cycle gas turbines, combined cycle. I've even done one solar project. And when the opportunity, I saw this after I'd retired from Zachary and 4 years ago, Wanzak had a position to oversee these projects, and I thought, well, I'd like to do wind before I completely retire. So I'm overseeing some construction of wind projects. Yes, sir.
So you've gone full circle. You just haven't done nuclear yet.
Just haven't. Well, and I don't think that'll happen. Fukushima kind of there was a nuclear renaissance going on, but Fukushima kind of put the brakes on nuclear. I don't think we'll see a whole lot of, other than keeping the existing plants running. At this point in time, it's got too much of a black eye in the public, even though it's a lot safer now, the new designs are, than the old ones. But I don't foresee much nuclear power, at least in my lifetime, I don't think.
So do you think these wind turbines are cost effective?
So, there is a production tax credit for them. And when they first started putting them in the panhandle back in the early 2000s, they couldn't make it without the production tax credit. But now the new turbines are much more efficient. They're much larger. And even if the production tax credit goes away, the new turbines are definitely, the cost of the power generated from them are definitely cost effective without any government subsidies whatsoever. I mean, they're still there, and Biden's going to keep pumping them in there, but even without them, though, the new ones are definitely cost effective. Now, with that said, you can have wind, you can have solar. Those are the hot things right now. But when the wind doesn't blow and the sun doesn't shine, you have to back them up. And so that's the issue with renewables right now, is that you either have to have batteries or you have to have other generating, gas generation or something to back up the power grid.
I like to call it reliable energy versus unreliable energy.
Yeah. And so when wind first was being looked at in the Texas Panhandle, it was only available about 33% of the time. Mm-hmm. But like I said, these new turbines now, they can generate power down below 5-mile-an-hour winds, where the older ones, they had to be 10 or better. These will generate power at 3-mile-an-hour winds all the way up to the mid-40s, where they shut them down because it gets too high. So they're available close to 60% of the time now. But no, you're right. I mean, the wind doesn't always blow, and the sun doesn't always shine. So you still have to have something to back the grid up. So
it seems to me like it's hard to beat natural gas to produce power.
No, yeah, natural gas. After fracking started taking place in 2007, 2008, the price of natural gas has come down so low that you're right. That's what I did for many years, was design combined cycle gas turbine power projects, and they were 65% efficient, and they were there and you needed them. But I can tell you right now, everything's headed towards renewables. I mean, for the main part. I mean, there's not very many people building the other types of power facilities right now.
Well, that's interesting. That's probably more than we probably need to get into. My mind starts spinning like a wind turbine when I start thinking about all the potential problems that we could create without thinking about it. Because, our politicians don't have the capacity to think ahead or understand what can happen.
Yep. Well, definitely the ERCOT board didn't.
Right. So what got you interested in being on the school board?
So, Board of Regents and
Board of Regents. I'm sorry.
I got, I was one of 5 children, and there's 3 boys in my family and 2 sisters, and my dad said, "Hey, I want you all to go to school, but boys, if you want to go, I'm going to help pay for the girls as long as they're single. Boys, I want you to go to school, but I can't afford to pay for it." And so I got my start at Emerald College back in 1983, and so I took all my basics, English. I took all my math all the way up through differential equations, took physics and chemistry and dynamics. Anyway, long story short, Emerald College was a great preparation for me then to transfer down to Texas Tech and get my engineering degree. And I don't know, I just always kind of thought about it. And then when that thing came up in the newspaper that John Hicks was leaving and they wanted somebody to fill the position, I thought, I'd like to give back to the school that helped me attain what I am today. I thought so. That's the reason I'm doing it.
Well, that's good. That's good. So apparently there's some really good things going on at Emerald College, and do you want to kind of elaborate on some of the things that they're doing that you think is really going to be a benefit to the community?
So back in 2019, we passed an $89.2 million bond referendum. So we're going to build a new First Responders Academy, the Innovation Outpost down on the old downtown campus. We've put in and we've approved and are building the curriculum for a new School of Cinematic Arts in conjunction with Sharpened Iron Studios. Those are all great things. We took our nursing program. When I first joined the board, we were having some issues with our nursing program, and our pass rates on the exams and things were not real great. I mean, they were in the 70%. Now our nursing school is in the top 3 of 95 in Texas as far as passing rates go on the board. So we've done a lot with that. We're looking at teaching cloud computing, programming. We're not just trying to shuffle kids out the door with the same old degrees that colleges have put out for so long. We're kind of looking ahead of where is industry headed, what do we need to be doing to stay ahead of it, whether it's, on healthcare or on, courses for transfer, or whether it's our machine work and our welding that we do out on the East Campus. So I think, we've got lots of good things going on. We've been recognized by, Aspen. We were one of the top 10 finalists for the Aspen Award. We're up right now here in May to find out if we're going to make it to the top 5, but that's for, teaching and completion rates, which leads me to another thing. We've implemented 8-week coursework for probably over 80% of our courses now are 8 weeks long. So you can go and take, instead of, one course lasting the whole semester, you can actually get 2 in. So you meet more often. It's a much shorter time frame. And so our completion rates and our grades have been higher in those. So that's been a big benefit. When I joined the board, our completion rate after 3 years was around 20%. Now we're at 58%. Our goal for 2025 is to have 80% completion rate. So no, there's many good things going on at the school right now in my mind. And it's the board in conjunction with the college leadership. Russell Lowry Hart's a visionary, and he's done great things at the school.
So basically, you might explain to the voters what the role of the AC Board of Regents is.
Sure. So in the AC Board of Regents, we set policy for the school. We approve the budget. we set the tax rate for the city of Amarillo, and Russell Lowry Hart reports, the president of the school reports to the board. That's really our main functions that we do.
So you function as a governing board.
Yes, sir.
Over the administrator.
Yep.
Of the what is his title? Lowry Hart.
He's our president.
He's the president.
Yes.
So he serves at your pleasure.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
You can fire him and you can hire him.
And we can hire him, and no, but there's lots of people who'd like to hire Russell. So our biggest thing right now is to keep Russell here in Amarillo, and I think we have a great relationship. Matter of fact, the American Association of Community Colleges, we're one of the top 3 finalists for board CEO relationship and how well we work together. And so I think we have a great functioning board. But no, yeah, you're right. We can if something happened, we can get rid of Russell. But right now, no, we're very, very happy with Russell and what he's doing.
I guess what I'm getting at is the voters need to understand how important the position on the AC Board of Regents is to our community.
Oh, yeah.
Because you want people in there that want to see Amarillo move forward.
Yeah, definitely.
And to pay attention, because our education is really the most important thing.
Definitely.
It relates to everything, because of people that are schools and colleges are educating, they might end up being one of our politicians.
You never know. Yes, sir. But
so maybe we hope that's the case.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Maybe they would be well trained. So, and it's my understanding you're also working closely with the AISD and working with some of their projects.
We are. Some of the things that, for instance, one of them that dental hygiene or dental assisting, with pharmacy technology, those are 2 programs that used to be under Amarillo College, and now with the new school they're opening out at the old Sunset Center, those will actually be under their curriculum rather than us teaching that. So they've picked up some of our professors and things that were teaching those courses, and we've moved those. But no, we work hand in hand with AISD, with WT, Texas Tech. We've done a lot of collaborative things just to make Amarillo and things around here work better.
And that way you're not overlapping.
That's right.
You're trying to coordinate so you don't waste taxpayers' money.
Exactly.
And use it effectively.
Exactly.
So since y'all set the tax rate for Amarillo College, if y'all see that there's a need, you all would propose the increase, but it would have to be approved by the voters. Is that right?
So, yes. So since I've been on the board, we as the board have not voted on any tax increases. We've kept the tax rate the same. Now, with that said, we did propose the $89.2 million bond referendum, but the city of Amarillo constituents voted on that and passed it. And it's I mentioned some of the things earlier we're going to do with that money. Other things we're going to do is update our HVAC, our chiller system for the school. We have some Americans with Disability Act changes we need to make. We have some parking lots. The schools, it's been around a long time, and some of those buildings are getting a little long in the tooth, so we're renovating those along with the new items we're doing.
Well, that's interesting. Have they done anything? Are they still using the Ordway Theater?
Ordway Hall?
Ordway Hall,
yep.
Yeah.
They are, and that's one of the we're going to do some renovations over there. But no, we're using and we're repurposing some of the buildings. Another one that we're doing is renovating Carter Fitness Center, and we're bringing college athletics back to the school. That was when I went to school there. They had men's basketball and they had women's basketball. And to me, it made it more like a real college than just a community college. It gave you something to be involved in along with that, and intramurals and other things. And then I was kind of disappointed to see they went away, but now that we're coming back with baseball, track, women's volleyball. So
well, that'll help attract students.
Oh, I think so, yes. So
that's good. And then the other thing that I've learned is that for people that go to AISD, if they want to, they can attend Amarillo College for 60 hours at no cost.
That's correct. The Thrive program. And when you were talking about collaboration a minute ago, it didn't pop in my head, but just a second ago when we were talking, I thought about Thrive. And so that's ourselves, Amarillo Economic Development Corporation, Amarillo Area Foundation, and AISD. But yeah, for up to 60 hours of books and tuition for people that have graduated from any of the Amarillo Independent School District high schools. And so it's last in. I mean, so it's out there, but if you apply for grants or scholarships, those go first, and whenever those don't pick up, then the Thrive program picks up the rest of it.
Well, to me, that's just huge. I mean, that should really enhance your enrollment.
I believe will definitely help with enrollment. And then, our tuition cost, this came up the other night in a conversation they asked about tuition, and our tuition is some of the lowest in the state. And it's not only for the students, it's tuition and the fees. A lot of times tuition might be this, and then the fees are 3 times that.
Yes.
But Dr. Windler down at West Texas A&M, I've seen it in his editorials where he's written, hey, if you got to take out a loan to go to school, don't come to WT first. Go to Amarillo College and get your start there, and then come to WT. I mean, so that's I'm sure the Texas A&M system. I've always wondered what they think about him saying that, but that's just.
Well, he wants the student to be successful.
Oh, no, definitely,
and not be saddled with debt. I think that's crazy. I think that people going and getting all this debt to go to school makes 0 sense. I mean, but the government kind of encourages it.
Yeah, no, they, public education. If you go to a 4-year school in the state of Texas, like at Texas Tech or whatever, you're probably going to spend $100,000 to $125,000. Somebody's paying for that, whether it's you or your parents or you take out loans. And so the other thing is you better get a degree that'll ever have a payback on it, and so, that's the STEM courses and the accounting and things, but there's some of them that nowadays won't hardly pay for themselves anymore because education's getting expensive.
Yeah, and I think some of the things that Amarillo College is doing, like encouraging people to learn the trades, because if somebody will learn a trade, it doesn't matter what they're interested in, but they always have something to fall back on, whether they're a carpenter or heat and air tech or a plumber or a welder.
Yep.
They might want to be a physicist, but if they can weld, they can always make a living.
So you're right at home there. So, I have a master's. My wife has her doctorate in pharmacy, and I wrote an article when I was at Zachary. They always had the officers, on our magazine that would go out to clients. But I wrote an article about 5 years ago, but it was on exactly that. I've got my degrees, my wife has hers, and so we're into the college education. But my oldest son, he went to Amarillo College for a semester and decided that school wasn't what he wanted to do. So I said, well, what do you have an interest in? And he said welding. And so we sent him off to Missouri Welding Institute, and he got he's been a welder for 7 years now. But no, you can make a very good living as a welder. And so I have one that went the college route and one that went the trades route. And so, one of the things I did with our welding program, it used to be a 2-year degree, and I said, we got to pump them out faster than that. These kids, because my son went to a very advanced school, and it was 24 weeks, and he came out and he could pass all his tests, and that's really what, and they said, well, yeah, but we want them to have this and have that. And I was like, well, I come from the construction side of the world, and if a kid can weld and he wants to go out and weld, and then he looks like he has management potential, they'll give him that training. You know what I'm saying? And so, no, we revamped our curriculum to where it's more like 8 months now to get out through our welding program out at the East Campus. So.
Well, not everybody should be a manager,
Yep.
but they always try to push. And what I see I see it. I've tried it. It doesn't work. You may have a guy that's just really good at a job. Maybe he's a phenomenal carpenter or something, and he's dependable and responsible, and think, man, I want to put this guy in charge of a crew.
Yep.
Disaster.
Just because somebody's a really good worker doesn't mean they're going to be a good
right.
manager or a good leader. No, I've seen that in the engineering business. I've seen it in the construction business, and so
it's just a totally different skill set.
Yep.
And some people you can't train to do that. It's just a personality thing. They want to do the work.
Yeah.
Let them do the work.
Yep. Yep.
We need people to do the work.
Yes, that's correct.
You know, I fear that, and I guess y'all have stepped up and are filling that void, but, you know, it's hard to find plumbers. It's hard to find competent heating and air techs. You know, they teach it in prison, but you can't hire them. They can't get a job.
Yeah.
Why they're teaching that in prison,
Yep.
I don't understand, because nobody can hire them because they can't go into people's houses because they're felons.
Yep. Yep.
Does that make any sense?
No. Now, on heavy industrial construction, you know, when I was at Zachary, we had many ex-cons working for us. I mean, but I can see the difference out on a job site versus wanting them in your house.
Yeah, teach them how to run a loader or a dozer or a blade.
Right.
Makes sense, but but to teach people a skill that they have to go inside people's homes doesn't.
They're not feel comfortable with
Somebody wasn't thinking there.
Yeah, no.
But they don't ask me. Well, that's interesting. So, what do you see Amarillo College? How do you see Amarillo College going forward? What do you see it in 5-10 years?
I think we're going to have a lot more online learning. I mean, we've kind of been pushed to that because of COVID. I think we're going to have more online learning, which then we can maybe even have further outreach than Amarillo. But no, I think there's going to be the trades, you know. Now, some people would think, we're going to have trucks driving themselves and this and that, and someday it'll happen. But I mean, we were having a conversation, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and people were like, yeah, in 3 or 4 years, trucks will be driving themselves, and I don't see that. So I think we're still going to be putting out truck drivers, machinists, welders. I mean, the trades will be out there, but I think, you know, some of the other degrees, I think coding is going to become a big thing, cloud computing, you know, anything with the internet is going to be pretty big. And so we're looking to that, and we're actually bringing in some outside consultants and some outside help to help us develop those programs, because it's different than teaching physics or biology or mathematics or English. And so we got to make sure we have the right skill set teaching those classes. But no, we're trying to stay on the forefront of where we think society's headed and make sure we're are preparing our students, whether they're right out of high school or middle agers, whatever they are, when they come to us. We want to give them, you know, education that they can use to be successful.
So if I want a computer program written, I can go to Amarillo College and tell them to write this program?
Oh, I think there's some people there that could do that for you, yeah.
That's interesting. Well, I mean, that would be a good thing to help, you know, the business community.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe if it was something that took off, they could share in the college could share in the proceeds.
You know, and that, you know, with our innovation outpost, I mean, that's, you know, some people say, you know, what's the difference between WT's Enterprise Center and the Innovation Outpost? And I think theirs is more working with entrepreneurs that have something they're developing. Ours is going to be more technology based, I believe. I think that's really kind of some of the separation there, to where we're not going to have overlapping. But there's lots of creative thinkers. You know, I'm an engineer, so my mind might be not as creative as some of the other people on the board. But no, there's lots of good input coming in on, you know, ways to change our curriculum.
All right. Well, do you have a website that people can find out about?
I do. It's www.danielhenke.com, and then I have a Facebook page, which I think I've messed it up more times because I'm not a social media person.
Right.
But I thought, well, I probably need to have one. So it's reelect Daniel Henke for Amarillo College Board of Regents, and I'm on LinkedIn just because of my business work. But anyhow. So
very good. Was there anything else you want to tell the voters as to why they should choose you over the other candidates?
Well, you know, so a couple of things. I do serve on the right now I'm the chair of the finance committee for the school, and the other thing as I do is I'm providing guidance to the college on all the bond projects. You know, I have wealth of knowledge around engineering, construction, contracting, and so the board looks to me a lot on those type of things to make sure we're contracting the right way. You know, I I've been doing engineering, I've been doing construction, so I know the questions to ask when we're interviewing potential contractors or potential architects or engineers and things. I've been very involved with the Travis Brown is the one doing our new chiller system design. Well, I've got a background in that, and I actually went to school with Travis Brown. We graduated from Texas Tech together, but so I've been working on that. But no, all in all, Amarillo's better because of Amarillo College, and like I said, I got my start there, and I'd just be honored to continue to serve. So that's it in a nutshell. I'm not a politician. I'm just wanting to help the school any way I can.
Well, very good. Well, we thank you for coming by, and good luck.
Appreciate it. Thanks for your time.